Awesome. So today we are going to be looking at something just a little bit more full on. It's about discomfort and the importance of perhaps just a little bit of discomfort. So one of the challenging aspects of personal growth is this idea of discomfort. We have evolved over thousands of years to seek comfort by way of shelter, food, warmth, cool. And these are human instincts. But unfortunately, in life, we have now got so much by the way of energy, saving devices, and comfort, and ease, and convenience that that little bit of discomfort is often removed. And that little bit of discomfort that we previously, in evolutionary terms, the hunting, the gathering, the preparing, the looking, as a species, in order to eat, we hunted, we gathered, we went food picking, we were active in our role of getting the comfort back to us. So we had to always have that little bit of discomfort in order to reach our goals of safety, of nutrition, of habitat. So now when these things are readily available to most of us, discomfort isn't something that we lean into. However, for a part of maybe that 20% we talked about, that 20% of energy, of discomfort, of leaning in, of effort, is the price for transformation. So growth doesn't happen from a place of comfort. It happens when we stretch ourselves beyond our usual limits. And that is the growth zone. So temporary discomfort leads to long-term gains. It's just, how do we get the mental toughness without burnout? So let's talk about the growth zone. To understand why discomfort is necessary for growth, let's first look at the idea of a growth zone. So you've got comfort zone, growth zone, panic zone. Okay, it's a bit of a continuum. So most of us will sit in the comfort zone where things feel easy, familiar. It's a place of safety. It's also where you stagnate. You don't grow when you're sitting in comfort the entire time. Your growth zone is an area right outside your comfort zone where challenge meets capability. It's a space where you feel a bit uncomfortable, but also empowered. It's where you're going to stretch your limits and learn new things and experience growth. And then we've got panic zone. And that is where the challenge becomes a bit overwhelming. That's where you've bitten off more than you can chew. It's just too much too soon. And it leads to stress, anxiety, and burnout, and failure. So we don't want to be sitting in comfort. We want to be sitting in growth, little discomfort, but we don't want to be pushing ourselves into panic, fail, fall over. The growth zone is temporary discomfort. And you might find that in other areas of your life, not just this habit transformation, but maybe in work, maybe in relationships, you might be sitting in the panic zone. It's too much, and you have to pull back. You might have to sit in the comfort zone for a little while and retreat, and then move back into the growth zone. So the growth zone is that temporary discomfort. It's not the fight or flight going all of the time in the panic zone. Think about it. So when you push yourself slightly beyond what you're used to, whether it's trying a new skill or having a difficult conversation or challenging yourself physically, you're activating your potential and it feels good afterwards. The discomfort signals that you're pushing your boundaries and that expands your capabilities. Now, over time, that little bit of discomfort you experience could become familiar. It builds new skills, resilience, and confidence. And there's your growth. So the more you lean into that little bit of discomfort, the more you'll strengthen your ability to handle greater challenges. Consider when starting a new exercise routine. Maybe that's what you're doing here. The first few lessons might be tough. Muscle aches, weak, it feels uncomfortable, you're having to really struggle. But with consistency and repetition, you keep going, and that discomfort turns into strength, familiarity, endurance, better health. And then you're in the comfort zone again. And that's when you can move back into growth and a little bit more. Discomfort, albeit temporary, gives you lasting gains. So how do we get the mental toughness? And I've struggled with this, I definitely have. And getting mental toughness without burnout is really important. So whilst pushing through a little bit of discomfort is essential for growth, I want you to be mindful of not overdoing it. Mental toughness is not about building resilience on the back of torture. It's about building resilience and the ability to face challenges. It's about the importance of knowing the balance of push and avoidance, the balance of push and torture. So I want us to be making small changes, gradual changes, big leaps and bounds. They are unsustainable. It is the chip, chip, chip. So if you've made good changes, if you've already feel as if you've done pretty well, I want you to think now today, what is your next little step? Aim to take small steps that gradually will build up your mental resilience. This might taking on a little bit more responsibility, starting that new fitness, adding in an extra layer of your fitness routine, having tough conversations within relationships, but little ones at a time. A tough conversation is the small increment compared to the burnout increment, which is the shouting, screaming match, compared to the comfort zone, which is the sitting there seething and being angry. Growth zone is about taking a small, manageable, positive step. Prioritize your recovery. So mental toughness doesn't mean grinding non-stop. It's about building strength in a little bit of discomfort and then having a recovery moment. So if it's been that difficult conversation, it's just sitting back and going, God, I didn't think I could do that, but I did. And now they know where I stand. As opposed to, again, having the big burnout shout that leaves you feeling inadequate and guilty and sad and defeated, and you've lost the fight. Make sure you balance the periods of challenge with rest, little challenges. Take time to recharge, relax, sleep, good activities, and unwind, reflecting on that good, positive, small step. I want you to embrace self-compassion. So the idea of today being about discomfort is not about being tough on yourself the entire time. It's about self-compassion too. It's being tough enough to say, come on, you can get through this, but not harsh. It's important to be kind to yourself when you're facing discomfort. Acknowledge that this effort, what you're feeling just now, is uncomfortable. Give yourself credit for pushing through. Give yourself credit for getting past challenging moments. Giving yourself credit itself reduces strength and helps you stay motivated. And set realistic expectations. And that's again looking at your capability. Mental toughness isn't about perfection, it's about staying committed and resilient in the face of the small challenges. Recognise that mistakes and setbacks are part of the journey. We've talked about this. So you didn't make it to your fitness class. Right. Let's reframe that. I was tired. I let down my barriers. I retreated to comfort. How do we get you back into growth? When's the next class? Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. It's about staying committed. Build a support system. Reliance is often one of the core strengths. If you've got someone to keep you accountable, that resilience will come. Surround yourself with good people, people who encourage and support you. If your negative mindset, if your limiting belief just now is, I don't have people that help me. Then let's stop and reframe that. What I need is a good team around me. And that might be people that I talk to when I volunteer, people that I meet at the gym, a colleague at work. It doesn't have to be this core group of friends that other people seem to have. It might be a special friend. It might be a partner. It might be someone that you know on a very superficial level, but they can fill your cup when it comes to this habit and the accountability. So, today, with your habit, do one slightly uncomfortable thing in the name of progress. Challenge yourself to do one slightly uncomfortable thing today. Speak up in a meeting or a class, even if it feels uncomfortable. Go for a brisk walk or a jog when you haven't been active and been sitting at your desk. Start a conversation, a difficult conversation with someone you've been avoiding. Try a new skill. Take on a new task. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. One little bit of discomfort. I'm thinking first thing in the morning tomorrow when your alarm goes off. Do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed. Don't hit snooze. Hit stop and say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 up. That moment of discomfort, that I'm not going back into the comfort of my bed, is moving you into the growth zone. Discomfort is there. It's the price of transformation. It doesn't have to be torture. It has to be in the growth zone. Want you thinking today about your habit. Where are you in today's journey? Are you slipped back into comfort? Are you pushing a little bit into growth? Are you being mindful of not going into the panic burnout zone? Temporary discomfort leads to lasting change, and that's what's going to be important here. Building mental toughness is really important. Having systems in place that allow you to embrace discomfort and leaning into it. Do one thing that really challenges you today. Step forward with change. Remember your growth is on the other side of a little bit of discomfort. I know you can do it. You've done it before.